Welcome. This is the Four Valuable Podcast. I'm your host and moderator, famous. I got Michael Andre with me tonight. What's going on, Michael?
Man, I totally forgot about the podcast. I'm gonna try to push it back later in the week, but you already put it out there, so we're gonna get on.
All right, NCAA. We'll get to Duke and UConn a little bit later in the show. Uh, let's start with Iowa and Illinois. That was a very good game, Michael.
Yeah, it was a pretty good game. Illinois ended up running away with it later on, but it was a good game. Illinois, they European and they big. They super big. So
Big.
Illinois they're gonna be a problem for UConn and because they're a big team. They got Peja Stojakovic's son out there shooting threes. So yeah, it's gonna be a problem for UConn.
Yeah, Iowa. They can only go so far. They're a team like Purdue. You can only get so far with them, and we'll get to Purdue in a minute, who got the door blown off of them on Saturday. Um, Illinois is a team that scares me. They're actually favored against UConn, which we'll get to the UConn Duke game in a moment. Uh, I think Illinois, if you play your cards right, you might have a chance to win it all. Cause they got length, they got shooting, they got depth, we got defense,
Yeah,
and
Illinois.
that's
Each one of these teams got something they can win it all. This is up in the air. This is what you want for a Final Four. We got it. We got four. I ain't gonna say blue blood program, but we got four big time program, which each one of these teams got a chance to win it all.
all right. Let's go to Arizona to the Arizona game. They that was just they were struggling the first half. They pulled out in the second half.
Yeah, it wasn't no blowout like you trying to make it seem like it wasn't. It wasn't like that. Purdue was up in the first half and was up 8 at the half, and Arizona just walked them down. But it wasn't no like you trying to make it seem like it wasn't that.
Yeah, Braden Smith. If you like point guard play, he is the all time leader in assists in NCAA history.
Yeah, he passed Bobby Hurley.
So kudos for Matt Painter, who's getting them there, but cannot get them over the hump. You had Zach Edey a couple years ago. You still can't get them over the hump against UConn. But Matt Painter, shout out to you. You had a great year, recovering from losing the first round a couple years ago.
Man, that's way he done been to 3 Elite Eight since then. People don't realize how. Let me just say this, man, cause people are so critical about coaches and people winning championships and all that kind of stuff. Do you know how hard it is to win a championship, especially in college basketball? But in the era of college basketball we in now, you got some of your greatest coaches. They didn't win right away. I think it took Mike Krzyzewski
16 years.
50 what 16?
16 years.
Bill Self probably 20 years.
12. Took him 12 when he went to Kansas. Took him
Calipari
12 years.
20 something years. Like, bro, this tough. It's tough to even get to a championship game. Now we're gonna talk about Duke and Shire and all that in a minute. But boy, it's tough to get there. Like, and I'm not saying you saying it yet, but Matt Painter done been to at least 3 Elite Eights 3 years in a row. There's nowhere in the world somebody should even question his job. His job should be nowhere near
No,
jeopardy.
no, he's the one. I like fire. I want coaches fired. That's one you don't fire right there. Cause who are you going to get in there to do better? That's the one job where you say who's going to do better there.
Matt Painter believes in developing guys. He don't believe in going crazy, going to the portal, and that has worked for him.
Now I hope Jamon or Anatole, if y'all watching, jump on the show. Uh, Michigan, they flat out. I don't know who pissed. I don't know who pissing their grits yesterday.
I don't either. That shit was bad.
They beat the hell out of Tennessee. Hey, have you noticed that Rick Barnes only likes the color orange? Have you noticed that?
Rick Barnes in Tennessee is another school that's done been, I think, like three straight Elite Eights.
Yates, three straight. He's been
That's
to
a,
one Final Four now with Texas.
that's another program. Three straight Elite Eights.
You know, his favorite color is orange.
Texas and Tennessee.
Texas, Tennessee, and Clemson. Remember he coached at Clemson.
Oh, that's right. That sure did.
They but now the question is with Rick Barnes, you went to three straight Elite Eights. What are we going to do to get to a Final Four?
He's in the same boat as Matt Payne. Same boat.
But he got that football money though. He got that football money. It should be catch some of that though, right?
Hey, he go to a football school. That don't mean he getting football money. He's at a
I know.
football school.
Look at Alabama. Look at Nate Oates. What he's done. He's at a football school and catching some of that. I think he kept some of that football cachet or cash.
Yeah, he getting some of it, but maybe Tennessee ain't making as much. It definitely ain't making as much as Alabama. They making some, but they ain't probably ain't in the same boat with Alabama.
Uh, Corey Green, are you on the show right now? Corey Green. I'll get to you in a minute, my Stephen A. voice. But treat him about to treat him like Stephen A. treating Jason Whitlock in the same. Uh,
Mm.
before I'm relishing it in this moment. We're not going to talk about Duke and UConn yet. You saw this thing with Cam Newton and Whitlock versus Stephen A. Smith.
I see that mess, man. I hate to even look at that kind of stuff. It's something against our black men and everybody. It's kind of like the crab in the barrel mentality when it comes to that, man. It shouldn't even be like that. Like we shouldn't be gloating over, the podcast. Man, everybody just make your money. It kind of look like somebody, like you got 4 or 5 dudes out in the street selling dope, and they all competing at the same spot. Man, it's enough money for everybody to make out here. It is.
I look at it like this: the whole conversation started with Cam having Whitlock on there to hash out what Whitlock got with him. Then it went to Stephen A. Stephen A. mad at Cam for having Whitlock on the show, but yet you went on Carmelo's show dogging out LeBron, but you went on everybody's show talk about how much you don't like LeBron.
I
I wish
mean,
LeBron. I
I
wish
I
LeBron
I,
would have swung on him.
I look at it like this: like that 50 Cent and Ja Rule beef. 50 Cent had some of his buddies that was cool with Ja Rule, and 50 looking at him like, man, if that's y'all cool with him and we beefing, what? I mean, come on. So that's how we looking at it. Like if that, and that's just like you, Faye. Me and you like brother. If you got a problem with somebody, I got a problem with them too. So that's how Steve and they were looking at Cam. Like, bruh, me and you tight. I done got you on ESPN. If if I got a problem with Whitlock, you need to have a problem with him too. But see, everybody's mindset ain't like that though. Everybody not thinking like that.
I think for Cam respect, he trying to figure out why it. Like I said, the show it wasn't about Stephen A. Smith until what we call turn to. It was just about what problems he had with him. That was folks they're just skipping that part. Now, now, now that's Cam's show. I'm gonna say lie to you. That's his show. He do what he wanted. It's just like me trying to go to your job and write your IEPs. I ain't gonna write your IEP.
Yeah, but at the same time, Faye, if you got a problem with somebody, I got a problem with them too.
Yeah, I'm
Let,
I'm
let-
I'm
let me
I'm
give you an
looking at
example, Faye. If we in a club and you get into it with a dude, well, damn it, I'm getting into it with a dude too, cause we brother. And that's the mentality I think Stephen A. Smith was looking at. Like, bro, we supposed to be partner. I done got you on the ESPN. You working with my enemy. Cam looking at it like, hey man, this my show. This is just business. I'm trying to handle me and him, handle our business. So I see both sides.
And yeah, it's both sides. And once again, Cam brought up the great point. You don't like LeBron, but everybody letting you go on the show, they ain't bring up LeBron. They just say talk about basketball. Next thing you know, you're going to talk about how much you hate LeBron.
Man, that ain't
And
cool.
so Cam just giving that same energy. Like now granted, Cam ain't finna be back with ESPN. We can agree on that.
I hope that ain't the case, but most likely, Stephen A. I hope not. I'm just saying, I hope not. I hope it's not like that.
I mean, because I'm gonna give a hot take for whoever watch the show. What does Cam bring to ESPN?
He just brings another sports personality, another former athlete talking about football or talking about sports in general, but mainly football.
What does he actually bring as far as analysis?
He
Because
brings
when
analysis to the. I would rather listen to Cam than Dan Orlovsky or maybe Ryan Clark.
mm, mm, we're gonna get to the Duke UConn game, Corey. Just hold tight. We're gonna get to it. So since we here, I know the draft is not for another couple weeks, but since you brought up Dan Orlovsky, he says that Simpson is the QB1 in the draft, and Mendoza is two. Your thoughts on that?
I would go with that if they wouldn't have never played each other. Alabama would have never played Indiana in the playoffs. I could vouch for that. But with them playing each other, Mendoza outplayed Simpson. Mendoza QB1 versus Ty Simpson. But that doesn't mean Ty Simpson is not going to be a first round pick. I still think he will.
I can I can see some of the stuff you're talking about. I'm also gonna look at it from this aspect too. Ty says awesome line was trash this year. He had no running game. Ryan Williams completely fell off the face of the earth. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, but they still won games, still went to the playoffs.
Jer- Um, is it Jeremy Bernard number 5?
Yep.
He was your best receiver, and really it should have been him. Ryan Williams just got caught in his own sauce this this from last season, and just don't know what happened. I'm I'm very
Yep.
disappointed in everything that man should have been doing. I'm just trying to
He
pull
had
up
a
the
bad
stats from the
season.
trying to trying to pull up the stats. So I mean, yeah, Alabama, you'll score 3 point. That's not good. I don't care where you at. That's not good. Look at the box score. 11-16. No, that's Austin Mack. I don't even know who that was. Oh, he came in for Simpson because he got hurt. Um, Number 12, Kalani Russell is going to be a starting quarterback next year for Alabama. Uh, there were a few other QBs better than Simpson. Yeah. So of course, and some quarterbacks are better than Simpson. Drew Aller, 11, I think he transferred for Arizona State. He had an off year. Uh,
Yep.
he started to focus on R. Williams. He had a few catches that were nice. A few catches, and them same few catches, you could double that in drops he had this year too, Corey. Um, that was our little bit of NFL corner. Now let's get to the piece de resistance. Let's get to it now. Uh, Duke Blue Devils had a 19-point lead against
Lead again.
UConn, and UConn went on a 50-30 run in the second half to win the game yesterday, 73-72. Duke Blue Devils have once again wet the bed in the last 3 years of the NCAA tournament. Really, the last 4 years, if you count when Mike Krzyzewski's last game, he lost to Carolina. Houston, they had a 10-point lead, couldn't make a shot in the last 8 minutes of that game. Last year against Houston, lost in the Final Four. Um, Mike, go ahead.
Um,
I'll give you the big screen.
let me defend John Shire first. John Shire has been at Duke 4 years, and he's won three ACC titles. Has taken them to at least the Elite Eight the last 3 years. Yeah, he hadn't got it done, but I don't need to hear nobody talking about they need to let John Shire go, this kind of thing. Um, he's going to win championships at Duke. It's coming. He's going to win championships at Duke. Duke has won national championships, man, when they've had elite guard play. Tyus Jones, Bobby Hurley, Jay Williams. They've had elite guards that has won them national championships. And if you look at these last 3, 4 teams of Duke, it hadn't really been an elite guard play. Duke has got to get elite at the guard position. Um, I think that Caden Boozer, it wasn't a bad basketball decision. It was two guys open on the other end of the court, and it just was a better defensive play than it was a bad offensive play by Caden Boozer. Um, but Duke's gotta they gotta get over that hump, and Duke's gotta figure it out. While we're talking about John Shire and not getting over the hump and not doing this, Kevin Sampson keep dropping the ball. We've already talked about Rick Barnes. We've talked about Matt Painter. There's some elite level coaches out there that's kind of in that same level with John Shire that's dropping the ball. Um, but I'm gonna say this as we talk about this Duke and UConn game. If you don't have Danny Hurley as the best coach in college basketball, I don't know what to tell you. I could I could look at that game and I could tell that UConn gonna come back, and he kept telling them boys, and they kept coming, they kept coming. One of the difference is not the depth, but the veterans on that team. I think Alex Carabin already got two national titles. I think
He does.
he does.
He does because he's a senior.
So Alex Carabin has got a potential to win 3 out of 4 national championships. When is the last time you heard that? I can tell you, Lou Alcindor. It's about the last time you heard somebody like that. So with that being said, Danny Hurley is the best coach in college basketball, and it's gonna be a good one in the Final Four. Now we talk about Duke. Let's get on Duke and North Carolina. People are talking about Hubert Davis was wrongly fired. It may be so.
No.
He won 125 games so many years. But if we're gonna put Hubert Davis on that same pedestal, Duke, and I'm not talking about John Shire, but Duke in the last 9, 10 years. The last time Duke won the national title was 2015, over 10 years ago. Do y'all realize the talent Duke has had since 2015 versus North Carolina?
I
So
sent it to y'all.
Duke is, in my opinion, I'm a Duke fan. I love Duke, but Duke has been way more overrated than North Carolina. Think about this now. I'm just naming all stars in the last 10 years that Duke has had. Jason Tatum, Zion Williamson, Paolo Banchero, uh, Cooper Flag is gonna be an all-star. You done had Cameron Boozer, Marvin Bagley was a high draft pick, Jared McClain, like Colin Knuppel could be the rookie of the year, and you hadn't won a national championship. Like Duke's mentality and a lot of these blue blood programs are still big on recruiting and developing. Duke is going to have to tap into that transfer portal just a little bit more. And when Duke can find them an elite point guard, Duke it can win them a national championship. And if y'all think I'm lying, just look at the history of Duke when they won national titles. Who has been in that backcourt for Duke when you won national titles? You win national titles off great backcourt play. Kimber Walker, Shabazz Napier. You have great backcourts. Duke got to get better in the backcourt. But shout out to UConn, man, because Danny Hurd is the best coach in college basketball. And did y'all see how he mugged the referee?
And what a referee
Everybody
gonna do
can't do that.
now? Let's let's accentuate your point that you made about guard play. Um, this the one team in 2010 they didn't have guard play and they still won the title. Um,
They had Nolan
John Shot,
Smith.
John Shire, and Nolan Smith were your backcourt in
Yeah, that
2010.
was a productive veteran backcourt. They wasn't necessarily pros, but that was a veteran productive backcourt. Nolan Smith came out of is no different than like a Chris Duhon or somebody. That was a great backcourt, a college backcourt. They ain't got
Yeah,
to be
36,
pros, but a
36 points a
great.
game average between them.
Exactly. That's a great college backcourt.
Now I'm gonna tell. Okay, let's see. Shire Senior, Singler Junior, Smith Junior, Zubek Senior, Lance Thomas Senior, Jordan Davidson Senior. He didn't get a lot of points, but just out of your top seven, all upperclassmen except for Andre Dawkins, we never heard much from after really that. Mason Plumlee was a freshman. Brian Kelly, freshman. Your three freshmen didn't get a lot of burn. 4 points, 3 points, 1 point. But Shire, Singler, Smith, Zubek, Plumlee,
And
those,
in the
those
last 2 years, Duke has relied on underclassmen, and that's what's hurt them. Last year, you relied on Knipple and Flag. That's what you relied on. This year, you relied on the Boozers, Isaiah Evans, and Gumba. You relying on underclassmen. That's on the past, man.
now, Corey, coming off his John Shire, this your third year. You three Elite Eights, one Final Four appearance, but you wet the
It's
bed
John
all
Shire
three.
fourth year.
It's fourth. This is fourth year.
Yeah, the first year they got put up by Tennessee in the first round. In the second round.
Second round. Okay. So what I'm saying, the last 3 years you've been to the Elite Eight though.
Yeah,
Yeah. Jamar said there was no pro team on that championship team 2009, 2010. We Mason Plumlee and Ryan Kelly, they were drafted, so they were
it wasn't
pros.
necessarily no pro players, but you had veteran guys on that
Yeah,
squad.
yeah, that was that was my point with Jamar. I was saying your top players were veterans, which is what Duke didn't have, which is what UConn has this year. They
And if
UConn
we talk about pro players, like this back to back run that UConn had 2 years ago, how many of them dudes in the league balling?
two, I think, right? Klingham and Castle.
And you had Andre Jackson. He
Andre
was a
Jackson, he
lottery
got
pick.
no burn. He's second round pick and get no burn.
They had another dude that was a lottery pick. I thought it was no, it ain't Andre Jackson. It was somebody else that was a lottery pick. But like you don't see a lot of pro guys like in this Final Four. It's only about like NBA this year. It's only about 4 or 5 dudes that are NBA players this year. Cole Pete at Arizona, Braden Burris at Arizona, Lindenborg at Michigan, um, maybe Wagler at Illinois. That's gonna be about it.
Yeah, I'm looking at now. Andre Jackson, he was a second round pick, I believe, for the Bucks. Um,
Yeah, it was another dude up there that was a lottery pick from UConn that team that year.
Castle won it 2 years ago.
Nah, that one Castle was somebody else.
Klingen, it's Klingen then.
It was another one. There was another dude.
Look like 20,
Yeah,
20.
I think the dude they say was Ken Angel Reese.
I hope he shoot better
It
than
might have
him.
been Andre Jackson.
He was second round pick. Hold on. Donovan Klingen, Stefan Castle. Uh, going through the draft now. Might go to the year before now. Tristan Newton, he's a second round pick. Cam
Oh, yeah.
Spencer, second round pick.
Go to the year before then.
Okay, 2023. Okay. Corey, stay in the office. I still gotta get with you in just a second. Overtime elite. Jordan Hawkins. That's
That's
who you're
his
thinking
name.
about.
Yep, that's him.
The Pelicans drafted him. Uh, hold on, screen went out. Let me see. Where is he at now? Jordan Hawkins. Let's Google him. But 2002, Corey, you had an 18-point lead against Indiana. You lost in overtime. You had a 10-point lead just last year against Houston, and you had a 5-point lead with 10 seconds to go. In 2000, well, it was 2000 was in 1999. I think it was in 2000. You lost to Michigan State in the Sweet 16, if I remember correctly. 1998, you were up 17 in the second half to Kentucky. Wayne Turner started giving to you, and they won by 2.
Mm-hmm.
Do I want to continue, Corey Green? Duke
What
has
is
a.
Corey contesting? What is he saying?
He just, well, we won 5 championships. Well, the many championships you won, you blown chances to win more, the same amount. Oh, 2004 national semifinal game, you lost to UConn, who eventually won the national championship against Georgia Tech. 2004. 2001, the year you did win it, you had a 23-point lead against Maryland, lost the lead, but you eventually won that game against Maryland, and you beat Arizona in the national championship game.
Wait a minute, I think 2001 Maryland was up. One Duke.
No, Duke was up.
Oh, that might
Or
have been
I
the
might
regular
be.
season. I think Maryland was up on Duke.
I had to look at the. Let me see. Jordan Hawk. He's still with the Pelicans. 3 points a game and get no burn. No burn, Mike. None.
I believe it.
6'5", 190. He getting no burn, dog. He getting nothing. Like, man, that just and he. But long story short, John Shire is going to win one or two championships. John Shire is going to win one or two. Problem is, the Coach K need to get some blame too. Also, his last game he lost to North Carolina in the national semifinal game. Maryland was up. Okay, I kind of figured I might have had a flip. I might be thinking I probably flipped the national championship game where they beat the hell out of Arizona. Arizona started coming back, and then they pulled away from Arizona.
Mm-hmm.
It's easy to say, "Why the freshman should have done." That go back. Look, this is a championship. This is a 2-time championship winning coach right here, which go back to me and Mike's point. There is no leadership on that court on to last night.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think I got them mixed up. It was the Arizona game that was up, and then Arizona pulling back in. But that Maryland team, Mike,
They had Lonnie Baxter, Warren Dixon, Steve Blake,
man,
and they end up winning it the next year after Duke won it, I think, or the year, 2 years
yeah, they won
later.
it. They won it the next year,
Yeah, they won it the
2002.
next year. Yeah,
They beat Indiana that year, and then the
Indiana
following
had
year,
Jared Jeffries.
mm-hmm, Duke is still the greatest. What they
AC Green, I'm a Duke fan, but you got to be real about it too, man. We got to get better at that guard position, and we got to like when it comes to overrated. Duke is more overrated than North Carolina. Name me a pro in the last 10 years from North Carolina, or not necessarily a pro. You can name me a 5-star or a lottery pick last 10 years. Now let's look at the lottery picks we done had at Duke in the last 10 years. Tatum, I think, was like 3 or 4. Banchero was in the top 3. Zion Williamson won. Cooper Flag won. Knipple like 7 or 8. Mark
Ben Carroll
Williams,
went one. Ben Carroll went one.
Banchero. Yep. Yeah, I mean, look at it. Look at what we've done, talent wise.
Jaleel Okafor,
Was number 3. Like, bro, we done
Jason Tatum 3.
Grayson Allen, I think, was a lottery pick.
Yeah, he was a top 15 pick.
So,
Cam
like,
Reddish was a top 10 pick. RJ Barrett was a top
R.J.
10
Barrett,
pick.
man, did we keep going? Why is Duke
And
not winning with all this talent then?
you had probably the second or third greatest coach of all time, and you couldn't win a championship in the last 10 years with those guys.
Exactly.
So, but at the same time, we're gonna give John Shire this smoke. We need to give John Calipari this same smoke. Rick Pitino, he's won multiple championships, so he's kind of like a made man because he's taken four different programs to Final Fours. Four different programs. No, it took three: Providence, Louisville, Kentucky. As far as St. John's, not yet. He's taking four different teams to the tournament, at least to the Sweet 16. So John Calipari's taking UMass, Kentucky, Memphis, three teams to the Final Four. So yeah, yeah. Mike Jamon say he can't argue with you with that because when UNC went through their drought with pros without championships, we didn't hear a thing. Uh, he must be talking about Rashid and Jerry, Antoine and Vince.
Yeah, that whole little group right there didn't win.
Yeah, they had Dean Smith. Probably, I wonder why folks consider him one of the greatest coach because they had Michael Jordan.
Dean Smith won how many titles? Two?
Two, two.
Yeah, but people gonna look at he coached Michael Jordan. Hey, all I'm saying is from if we gon' and nobody need to bash John Shaw because he the youngest coach, but Matt Painter got to get some of this smoke. Rick Barnes got to get some of this smoke. Izzo only
Calipari.
got one title. As a matter of
Yep.
fact, to be perfectly honest, and this just is my basketball mind. I ain't heard this nowhere. I'm just thinking. I think Tom Izzo with Michigan State was the last Big Ten team to win a national title. That's over 25 years ago. Izzo ain't don't nobody say nothing about Izzo. Izzo ain't played for a national title in how many years?
About 14
So
when he had Draymond.
with
When he had
all that
Draymond.
being said, man, like if we gonna throw rocks at one, we gotta throw rocks at the other people now. We gonna throw them.
Um, Jamar, Fred Johnson, friend of the show, had a valid question. How many seniors was on this team? Malik Brown, did he get any burn? Brock
Malik
Davis,
Brown was the starting center for in front of what's the name? In front of
Gamba.
Ngumba. Like like
Uh,
like I'm gonna give you another example, man. That's a good example. That's on a D2 level. This is a Fort Valley level. They don't win that SIAC championship without people like Jamal Jenkins and Pepe. Like you had a lot of young dudes on that team. Tari Kellum, Buck, Reggie Foster, and they just sat in the corner and spot up and hit three. But if you don't have veteran guys, you don't win. That Fab Five showed you that. It's really only been one team that's won with young guy, and that was Kentucky when they had Anthony Davis and Marcus Teague, Kid Gilchrist. You got to have veteran guys out there.
2015 Duke when they had three freshmen: Okafor, Tyus Jones,
I forgot about that Justin Winslow.
Justin Winslow.
They
Yeah,
beat
that team.
Wisconsin, and really, if Kentucky don't lose, Duke might not win that championship.
Duke getting their ass whooped that game. I say that right here. Kentucky caught a couple bad calls in the last 4 minutes of that game. There was a 30-second violation that Wisconsin did not get caught on, and those twins cannot shoot. Let's just say what it is. Them twins in that backcourt could not shoot.
They had that's the squad that had the Harrison twin, Carl Anthony Town, Devin Booker. Good gracious,
James Young. You know how I feel about James Young. I love James Young on that team.
man, they were loaded.
I'm gonna give you the roster. Devin Booker, I think, was coming off the bench.
He
Marcus
was.
Lee, Marcus Lee, Devin Booker, Tyler Eulis, uh, Karl Anthony Town, and Harrison Twin. We already said Willie Cauley Stein, Dominique Hawkins, Trey Lyles. That's just the main folks that were playing that year. If you've never been in
Mm-hmm.
that situation with upperclassmen as a freshman, you can't be ready. Right. That's all we're saying. Now, Duke just had
Yep.
superior talent against Wisconsin that year. That's
That
what gave Duke the grace that year. Because if they'd have played Kentucky, that'd have been Calipari's second championship.
yeah,
If
yeah,
they played Kentucky, cause remember Duke, Kentucky beat the hell out of Duke early in the year.
yeah.
They beat Duke
Kentucky
by almost 30.
able to beat Duke to sleep.
We go back to if you look at simulated teams that 92 Duke team, with Bobby and Christian, the 96 Kentucky team, their JV team that were freshmen in 96, one freshmen and
One
sophomores in 96,
98.
one in 98.
That's Wayne. That's Wayne.
Wayne Turner, Nazir Muhammad, Jeff Shepard,
Jeff Shepard. That group right there.
Jamal McGlure,
Because the group in '96 with Ron Mercer, Derek Anderson,
Anderson,
Tony Dill. Good gracious.
Mark Pope. Mark Pope was on that team.
Yeah,
Antoine
Mark Pope
Walker,
on that team.
Walter McCarthy.
Yeah, yeah. Kentucky was loaded.
And Kentucky really, if you really want to Scott Paget. Now, if you really want to get to it, if Derek Anderson would have got hurt in 96, 97,
They would have repeated. They would have beat Arizona.
they won 3 years. They would have been a three-peat.
Mm-hmm.
Scott Paget. You remember that? I'm going back. Fred, help me out. Kentucky team 91, 92. They had a guy they called Larry. They try to compare him to Larry Bird. You know what I'm talking about? Pritchett. They try to compare Larry Bird. He was a bust. That 95 Kansas team. Ooh, Rafe LaFrance.
Rachel
I
French,
think
Jock Vaughn,
Paul Pierce on that team too, if I remember right. 95 team.
Paul Pierce on 95 team.
Now, if you go and talk about Roy Williams, one thing Roy Williams could do, he could recruit.
Yeah, he had a squad with Ty Lawson and Hansbrough. They were loaded. Then he
Nah,
came back. He won one with Sean May, Rashard McCann, Raymond Felton. Then he won another one with Justin. What was that team? His last one, he won one like
just
2018.
yeah, the one that year they beat Gonzaga. It's Fred Ostertag. If you talk about the Ostertag and Rafe LaFrance, Scott Pollard, Jock Vaughn, Gray Ostertag, BJ Williams, Paul Pierce came a year later, I think. Paul Pierce came a year or two later after that. You talk about they had about 4 7 foot on that team.
And one thing that kind of separate the difference between high school and college ball. You want to be a state contender, you got to have guys that go play college. That's college level players. You want to win championships at the college level, you got to have guys that's ready to play that can play pro ball, but they got to be veteran guys. Like that's the difference when we talk about the levels of high school. High school state champions, they got at least 2 to 3 guys on that team, some teams that are ready to go play college ball somewhere. I didn't necessarily say high major, D1, D. They got college level guys. When we talk about college, when you get to this level, you got to have at least 1, 2, 3 guys that are pro players, but they got to be veteran guys. Got to be
Yeah.
veteran guys.
Now looking at the Kansas team that went to the Final Four, can I interest you in a Rex Walters and a Adonis Jordan backcourt?
Uh huh.
Can I interest you in an Eric Pauly and a great Ostertag on their roster also?
Mm-hmm.
Now, that's a college team. That's a college team right there. Now we go back to the 91. We go back to the 1990 team that lost that they ain't really had nobody. That's the year they was a 91 when Duke beat Kansas in the final in the national semifinal game. Terry Brown and Mark Randall were your starters in the backcourt. This team
Mm-hmm.
went to the This team went to the Final Four. I'm like, who are these folks here? They ain't gonna win. Now, what course about? You need to go sleep. Duke lost. They're going to bed right now. You going to take your nap too. Court. And talking about 98 Kentucky. We just said 98 Kentucky team was the JV team was their freshman and sophomore from the 95-96 team.
Mm-hmm.
And that believe it or not, that team lost to UMass early in the year, and they got their get back on John Calipari in the national semifinal game.
Yep.
And then they played Syracuse. I'm trying to figure out how Syracuse hung with them. And Syracuse, I think they covered. I know they covered because I think Trent won a bet that I remember that Trent won a bet that Syracuse would cover against Kentucky. Uh, I think John Wallace was on that team, that 96, 95, 96
Yeah,
Syracuse
John
team.
Wallace,
That was
Adrian Autry, yeah, Ryan Reese. Cost in the Sweet 16, they beat Georgia at the buzzer.
and pull up their rock. This bring back some memory, man, because this just muscle memory. Lazarus Sims, you remember him? You kind of interested on Lazarus Sims on that team. Donovan McNabb was on this team. He's a freshman. Yep. John Wallace was your only All American on that team. Otis Hill, 12 points a game. Um, Matter of fact, I believe Syracuse beat Mississippi State, who had Eric Dampier. Y'all name all the Coach K team. No, we been named the Coach K teams, Fred. Shoot. Which go back to he should have more championships also. John Shire, he just started his career. But at the same time, we're going back to the NIL. You got to go on the transfer portal, get some vets. Look at Florida last year, Walter Clayton.
Mm-hmm. Got to find the right fit too.
Yeah. And make sure they got the grades too, because Duke is a hard school to get into. So, But they can massage that piece right there.
Mm-hmm.
But just looking at it, just they could really, if you think about it, Duke should have won it 4 years in a row. Do you have a life alert, Mike? Anto want to know, do you have a life alert?
They said I have a life alert. No, I'm trying to iron for tomorrow, man.
We got skill in the morning.
We got school in the morning.
But you look at it, the 91 through 94, those years, Duke should have won 4 straight. 93, they lost to Cal in the Sweet 16. That's Jason Kidd and Lamar Murray team. And then 94, they lost to Arkansas in the national championship game.
Yep.
The 95, UCLA won it. That's a year. I need to look at that bracket. I can't remember who. I think they beat Arkansas. Matter of fact, UCLA beat Arkansas. That UCLA team might in 94, 95.
With Tyus Edney, Ed O'Bannon.
Charles
Yeah.
O'Bannon.
Yeah, they
Toby
were
Bailey. Toby Bailey.
J.R. Henderson was on that squad. Cam Dollar, I think, was on that squad.
Let's see. Pull it up now. Yeah, Ed O'Bannon, Tyus Edney, Charles O'Bannon, George Zedick, Toby Bailey, J.R. Henderson, Cam Dollar. That team. And then you look at the next year, you lost. That next year, you lost to Princeton in the first round. Toby Bailey, Charles O'Bannon, J.R. Henderson, Chris Johnson, Jelani McCoy, Cam Dollar still there. Bob Myers. Can I interest you in the Bob Myers, ex GM for the Golden State Warriors? Yeah, the Arkansas team. That team, I think it was
Arkansas team had Corliss Williamson and
Scotty Thurman, Alex
Scotty
Dillard, Corey
Thurman.
Beck, Clint McDaniel, Roger Crawford, Darnell Robinson. That team right there. Then they ran it back for the most part with that team. They ran it back. They just ran it to damn UCLA that year.
Mm-hmm.
Nah, you talk about an Arkansas team back in the day. Let's go back to 1991. Ty Day, Oliver, and Lee Mayberry. Can I get a bid on that right there?
Oh, you sure can.
Can I get a bid on that right there? Scotty Thurman. Yeah, Scotty Thurman, yeah. Uh Ty Day, that squad right there. Of course, you know, you got UNLV that year that just I think they were cheated out. That they supposed to go undefeated. Tart. Tart should have won
Hmm.
two. Tart should have won two that year. Um, we got votes in the chat. What was the greatest NCAA basketball team that never won it? That should have won a championship, but they never did.
Repeat the question.
What college basketball team over the last, we'll go the last 35 years, who had the best squad but never won it that year? Should have won a title, at least one. UNLV, they did. They won it in 90, but they should have 91. They ran it back with the same team. So that's a lot of good teams in there, Mike. There's a
Oh
lot of
yeah,
good teams.
that was the
There's a
heyday of
lot.
college basketball, and you did not one time mention the Fab Five
Not one time.
or the Indiana squads with Cabot Cheney and Damon
Mm-hmm.
Bailey and Greg Graham and all them. Like them the heyday of college
Mm-hmm.
basketball.
That one college basketball when you were senior, you stayed all 4 years and try to
Hmm.
win a title for your school. Shoot, them Hoyas before the '96 Georgetown team was very good. Victor Page and Allen Iverson.
Jerome Williams.
Mm-hmm. Mario Johnson entered the chat. Duke '99 travel call against them against UConn. Kentucky 2015. Yeah, that Kentucky '97 team. I still say they should have won it. What about? Can I interest you in a USC '98? Can I interest you in a UNC '98?
That's
The
Vince
year they,
now.
yeah, the year they lost the year they lost the I believe want to say I think they lost to Utah that year. They pull up Shamar Williams, Antoine Jameson, Vince Carter, Ed Coder, Mark Darnjai, Brandon Haywood, Scott Williams, point guard right there. Antoine Jameson, 22 points a game. Vince was only give you 15. Can't believe that Vince give you 15. Only give you 15. The Kansas team, of course, 98 Kansas team. Yeah, that Duke team, that 98 99 Duke team, they had three freshmen that went to the league right there.
You said what team?
The team that lost to UConn in the national championship game, that 98 99 Duke team, Elton Brand, Trajan Langdon, Corey McGetty. Them three went. I think them three went. No, Corey stayed another year. I think no, he didn't because Jason Kidd. No, Jason Williams came and William Avery. Them three left. Them three left. Well, Tranger did had to leave because he graduated. Uh, yeah, those three. I mean, Corey McGetty left early too. But yeah, those four guys. But they got Jay Williams, and all those guys. Uh, Chappelle, who left Duke, went to Michigan State. He was a good player. Just the only way he just didn't fit it. Duke.
Yeah, Jason Chappelle, pretty good.
Yeah, Jamal. I said Vince Carter on that year only averaged 15. Only 15. Yeah. All reason why I said only 15 is because Antoine Jameson will give you 23, and Shamar Williams will give you 18. That's why I said that. That Utah team had Andre Miller,
Andre Miller
the center. No, I forgot the
was Keith
center.
Van Horn with him?
That was in '96. He left in '96. Yeah, that that Michigan State team, that team, Let me see, 2000 NCAA bracket. We'll go back. Let me just look at this right quick. Okay. Um.
Hey, we're gonna save them other two for when we get more people. I would
Yeah.
love to hear. I
Oh,
would
hold on.
love to hear what people say about that number four I had about Tim Tebow and Stetson Bennett. I know that may sound outrageous, but man, I want more people on them for real.
Yeah, that Florida team beat Carolina in the Final Four 2000 in the Final Four.
Yep.
Keith Van Horn went and left in '96. Fred.
So,
Yeah, like I said, he was 15 points a game. He was not a main guy, right? To me, he should have been doing giving more, which is why a lot of folks are begrudgingly don't like Vince's career because he should have been the guy. He just I guess they called him lazy. Florida 07 or '08. Florida won it in '06 and '07. They went back to back, Corey. So you could take off '07. '08, everybody left. Everybody left in '08, Corey. Well, the '07 '08 season, everybody left because they went back to back. They all went to the league. Um, Now, if you really want to name that UConn team with Rudy Gay in '06 should have won it too.
yeah, Rudy Gay, Charlie Villanueva. Yep.
That team should have won it, but George Mason messed around and won. He talking about football. I'm talking about basketball. I want to talk about football. Yeah, Florida should have won it 4 years in a row. That what you talking about football? No, we talking about college basketball. We want to talk about if that's the case, then the Miami team that lost to Ohio State. That's the correct answer.
Hmm.
That's the correct answer if you're talking about football. The Miami team that got cheated out there win against Ohio State. That's the team that should have won the most if you're talking about college football. But yeah, Florida they should have won it. Though Florida really should have won 3 out of 4, but they didn't. I guess Aaron Hernandez was shooting folks or something. So
That dude
um,
here, man.
um, but yeah, there's a bunch of college basketball teams that should have won that year, but really, the Michigan team in '93 should have won it. Chris Webber, he's thinking about getting money, so which they should reinstate those wins since since all this is pretty much legal now, they should reinstate all those wins.
Yep.
Just like Rick Pitino, you go ahead and give his championship back from 2013 with 2014 with Louisville.
That's true.
If they're gonna talk about the Will Wade thing next week too, I want to bring that up.
Good show tonight too, bro. Who you
Yeah,
got in the girls? You got UConn, UCLA, Texas, and what's the name playing now? Ain't South Carolina playing now?
yeah, South Carolina playing now. I don't, because South Carolina they play. I look at it like this: the only way South Carolina gonna beat UConn if they win tonight. South Carolina's up by 6 right now, about to go into the half, going in the half. Uh, Only way UConn will lose to South Carolina if Sarah Strong and AZ Fudd miss the plane. And I
About
pick
it.
you, and I picked South Carolina to win the national title without realizing they're on the same side of the bracket as UConn.
I gotta see them bird.
So
Yep.
yeah, I see them this Friday if they win tonight. So and that what kill me. Their turnaround is shorter than the
It's
men's.
crazy. They gotta play Friday, Sunday.
Yeah,
That's crazy, man.
it should be Sunday, Tuesday like it used to be. It should be
Yeah,
Sunday,
that's
Tuesday.
crazy.
Oh yeah, Corey brought up a good one. UCLA with Westbrook in 2008 when all 4 number 1 seeds made it to the Final Four.
Westbrook, Kevin Love, yeah, that was they squad.
But you just answered your question why they didn't win it, Corey. You just answered your own question.
I'm out. See y'all next week.
That's a great show. We'll see you next time.
All right, guys.